Is it finally a good time to buy a home or sell a home in Fort Worth? Or are we all just waiting for interest rates to blink first? Hi, everyone. If you've been refreshing Zillow 5 times a day, casually stalking homes on the market, or debating whether now is really the right time to jump in, this is your sign to stop guessing. We're breaking down the latest numbers for Tarrant County's real estate market in April 2025. And you'll walk away today with crystal clear view on what's going on without any fluff, fear, fancy financial jargon. Spoiler alert, don't be the guy who lists your home like it's 2021. Stick around, this update's packed with actionable intel. Hey friends, I'm Robert Barton, your local real estate expert serving Fort Worth and all across Tarrant County areas. And I'm here every month breaking down exactly what's happening with homes, interest rates, buyer demand, seller issues, and market shifts. Whether you're buying your first home in Fort Worth, moving closer to your family in Aledo, or selling your old-time place in Keller, you're in the right place for real numbers, real insight, and a real plan to help you move forward with confidence. If at any point you want a personalized help or a free price breakdown of your neighborhood, just drop a comment that says home, or shoot me a message, or scan this QR code up here. Now let's get into this month's numbers. April 2025 market snapshot for Tarrant County single family homes. First thing we're going to talk about is home sales. So we had 1,819 single family homes closed in April of 2025 this year. That's down about 9.7% compared to 2014 and April 2024, which tells us activity is slightly slowed but hasn't stalled. Now this dip in sales is more about pickier buyers and better inventory, so don't panic. We're seeing a market where folks are just more intentional. They're still buying, just with more thought behind their offers. Think about quality over quantity. For example, in Fort Worth 76107 zip code, sales dipped 7%. But nearby in Keller, 76052, they only dropped 2%. Luxury homes over $750,000 actually saw a 3% uptick, proof that high-end buyers aren't as rate sensitive. It's good to have money, right? Now let's talk about the median price. It's still holding at about $353,000 for Tarrant County. Now that's pretty flat from last year. No increase, no decrease, a little odd, but hey, that's real estate. Now, we're not in a price drop environment. What we're seeing is a market that's resisting volatility. That 353,000 median is basically Tarrant County saying, hey, we're good right here for now. No need to move. And for both buyers and sellers, that's actually a healthy signal. I would say that the sweet spot for fast sales right now are homes priced between $300,000 and $450,000. They're flying off in about 22 days on average, while $600,000 plus homes, they're sitting around 90 plus days. So price it right and you'll beat the curve. Now let's get into our inventory. Right now we got 3.4 months of supply. Now compare that to 2.7 months a year ago. That's a 26% increase option for buyers. Now this is probably the best news for buyers. We're not swimming in listings, but we're no longer starving either. More supply means more choice, less competition, a little more breathing room before making decisions. Now for sellers, that means you got to be sharp. You got to prep, price, and present your home like it's got competition, because it does. Now getting back to some hyperlocal stuff. East Fort Worth in the 76112 zip code has 5.1 months of inventory. Now that's a buyer's dream if you want to live in East Fort Worth. You can negotiate all day there. But in South Lake, where the rich folks live, it's only got 2.3 months of inventory. So location apparently matters more than ever this year. Of course, people aren't really selling unless they really have to. Now let's get into days on market. So the average days on market is about 48 days, which is up 14.3% from last year. The median is about 24 days, up 26% from last April. Homes are sitting longer, both on average and median timelines. So the translation here is price it right and you'll sell it in 3 to 4 weeks. Price it wrong and you're going to be stuck like last year's Christmas lights. This isn't a red flag, it's a return to sanity. A well-priced home is still moving in just over a month, but gone are the days of the 24-hour bidding wars. If you're selling, you need to prepare to list it earlier and be a little patient. If you're buying, you finally have time to think. And you maybe even have time to sleep on it before running to see a home after work and making an immediate offer. What a concept, right? Now we'll get into the sale to list price ratio. So what does that mean? So you listed it at this price, but it's sold at this price, okay? So the median is about 97.9%, only down about 0.5% from last year. Average is about 96.4%, down about 1% from last year. So home values are still holding steady. The downside is there's no significant equity gains either, though. So sellers are now accepting around 2 to 3.5% below list price on average. We're seeing more negotiation power return to the buyer. In April, 61% of the sellers in Tarrant County accepted concessions, like covering inspections, giving money for closing costs, paying down rate buy downs for the buyer. You're no longer expected to throw in your firstborn child to win an offer right now. But sellers, this also means you need to expect offers with terms. It's not going to be a full price offer and I'm going to ask for nothing. There's going to be terms in almost every single offer you get nowadays. So negotiation is basically back on the table. And I can help you navigate that wisely, so don't worry about it. Now, expired listings. Let's talk about the trend here. It's not as horrible as it was last month. So expired listings are up about 2.1% from April last year. Basically, 2,011 homes last year versus the 2,053 homes we had in April this year. So more homes didn't sell this April and were either pulled or expired. Folks, the list and leave strategy is officially dead. I'm seeing way too many overpriced homes sit, get ignored, and quietly disappear from the MLS. That's not a market problem. That's a marketing problem. If you're serious about selling, your home needs more than a sign and a selfie next to the kitchen island. You need pricing, precision, and a promotion plan. Reach out to me and I'll show you a real professional marketing plan and we'll get that home sold. So let me explain market balance. We're in a more even playing field right now. So basically 4 months of inventory is about an even market for both buyer's side and the seller side. Buyers and sellers are going to have to negotiate and compromise a little to get transactions over the finish line. But no worries, that's what I do. Buyers and sellers both have leverage if they use the right strategy. So this is not a buyer's market, but it's not a seller's market either. It's a smart person's market. Both sides have the ability to win, but only if they play the game right. This means sellers need to nail their pricing and buyers need to come with knowledge, not lowball offers. Local expertise makes all the difference here, I'm telling you. Now let me give you a quick mortgage rate update. So currently the 30-year fix is about 6.68% according to Freddie Mac. Up slightly from March, but still within the 6.5 to 6.9% range we've seen most of 2025. Yes, rates have been creeping up a little, but not alarmingly. Think of it as the real estate's version of a simmer, not a boil. And 6.8 isn't crazy historically. It's actually around average. So it just feels high because we're all nostalgic from the pandemic era unicorn rates under 3% where we were spoiled. Man, were we spoiled. We got some good prices there. Now the forecast is stable through the summer, but you might get a dip in late 2025. Most experts agree no sharp spikes, but no drops this summer. A dip into the low sixes or the high fives could come around the end of 2025. So if you're holding out for the 5% rate, I love your optimism, but you might be waiting a while. In the meantime, the market's still moving. And a good lender can show you the options like buy downs, adjustable rate loans, creative financing that fits today with flexibility for tomorrow. And remember, you can always refinance to that lower rate later in the year if you find your dream home now. And many lenders are offering that at no cost. So just be sure to ask yours. Now let me hit a little bit about property tax and homestead reminder. So as of right now, there's no county tax rate increase announced as of yet. But appraised values may rise, so check your notice and appeal if needed. Even if rates stay flat, your property tax bill might not. The county can raise your value without touching the rate. So check your 2025 appraisal, and if something looks a little off, go ahead and appeal it. And if you haven't filed your homestead exemption, friend, come on, stop leaving free money on the table. Now let's get into a few more neighborhood sweet spots or spotlights that I think were worthy of mentioning this month. So the first one we'll talk about is in the 76109 zip code. It's around TCU, West and 7th, around the cultural district. Median prices hit $475,000. That's up 3% from March. That's in 30 days. Thanks to young professionals snapping up all the walkable townhomes, but inventory is tight around there about 2.1 months. So sellers, if you got a 3-bedroom there, you're sitting on a gold mine. Next thing I'll talk about is in the 76177 zip code. That's in the Alliance area. So Alliance has kind of been a sleepier hit of 2025. Inventory surged up to about 4.5 months of inventory. But homes under $400,000 are still selling within 30 days. So buyers, check out the new homes that are off of I-35 West. Builders are offering interest rate buy downs around 4% to clear inventory. Reach out to me if you want to get the details on those. The next zip we'll talk about is the 76104 zip around Fairmont. It's in the historical south side of Fort Worth. Fairmont's historical bungalows are red hot right now. Listings here sell at 98% of asking price. That's versus 96% countywide. If you're interested in the Saginaw or North Fort Worth area, they have more inventories in some of the other area and some softer prices. However, if you're in the Mansfield, Arlington area, they are very, very active under $400,000. It's still very competitive. And if you're looking at luxury sales in the Aledo, Benbrook area, they're a little bit slower, but still solid pricing. Every zip code has got its own heartbeat. And that's why relying on national headlines is like wearing ski gear to a Texas summer cookout. You're dressed for the wrong forecast. If you want the real story for your neighborhood, drop market in the comments and I'll send you a free micro report, no strings attached. Now let me get some advice to the buyers and sellers. We'll start with the buyers first. Here's some tips for winning right now. Stop waiting for the unicorn rate. Unless we have another worldwide event, I can guarantee you're never going to see 3% interest rates again. Get pre-approved with a local lender, not a 1-800 one off the TV. Maybe look at homes that have been on the market 30 plus days and ask about seller credits and concessions. You're not racing anymore, you're strategizing. So take the time to run the numbers, look at multiple homes, and let me help you compare values. Here's a bonus. I can connect you with lenders offering buy downs, 0-point options, and even have seller paid closing costs if you're interested in moving this summer and not wanting to wait for the wintertime rate possible drop. Now my advice for sellers. Some tips for getting top dollar. You got to stage your home properly. No excuses. You got to fix that curb appeal. You got to make those minor repairs. You got to declutter and you got to deep clean. Use professional photos and video. Yes, video, not the phone pics, okay? You got to get neighborhood specific when you're getting that price option. And last but not least, work with someone who knows the market beyond the MLS. Here's a hint, it's me. You can't just list it in the MLS and stick a sign in the yard. It's not gonna work this year. I cannot stress this enough. This is not the time to wing it. If you want top dollar, your home has to look the part. And it has to be priced with sniper-like precision. And that's where I come in and I can help you. Now here's what you can do right now. You can comment home if you want a custom value report down here. You can comment market for a zip code specific update. And you can comment lender if you want a trusted loan expert. I know that was a lot. It was hard to remember. Or just reach out to me anytime. I'm always here to answer your questions. Even if you're a year out from your move, the only bad real estate question is the one you don't ask. All my contact information is below, and the link to my free buyer and free sellers guides are also down below. Thanks for watching the April 2025 Tarrant County Market Update. Whether you're buying, selling, or still on the fence, I hope this clears some of the fog. Remember, When you have the right numbers and the right agent by your side, you can move forward with clarity. Stay safe, stay smart. God bless you and your family. Rob out.